Well, it is the holiday season, and as such, the way it goes, I'll recap it real quick, Jeff. Santa Claus, if you're nice, right, he comes to your house. He comes down the chimney, right? And if you're naughty, you get a lump of coal. That's what you get. You don't get the toys, you get the coal. So that's kind of how we're going to do this thing for college basketball so far this season. Matt, going to start with you. This is my favorite thing. Your naughty list.
Of course you are.
Your naughty list.
How do I know?
I want to know who's on your naughty list. Who has been the most disappointing team in your mind?
Okay, can I start? I'm gonna start somewhere different than specific team. Okay, good. Here we go again. Yesterday we had some great college basketball games. Phenomenal. We had Carolina, Kentucky, Ohio State, UCLA, Carolina, Mississippi State, Memphis. We had some great games. Just to mention a few. We had awful college football playoff games. Games that were not even close. And we have the NCAA trying to mess with the NCAA tournament and add more teams into the NCAA tournament and mess with something that is perfect. We get great games in the NCAA tournament. Yesterday, if you're a college football fan, you probably turned the TV off. It wasn't even exciting. And these members of the NCAA are trying to still mess with the tournament. They're on my naughty list. Knock it off. Leave it alone. It's one of the greatest sporting events in the entire world. And to add more teams in, you're going to get bad games. We don't need bad games. We have great games on the first few days of the NCAA tournament. So they're number one on my naughty list. So I'm going to start there. In terms of a team,
I think it's a good call. I think it's actually a good call. It's a cop-out, but I think as cop-outs go, it's a good cop-out.
You think it's a cop-out?
Well, you didn't. Yeah. I mean, you act like we're talking about basketball teams. You go with a damn committee. But again, I agree with it, so I'll allow it.
Okay, all right, great. Then we'll stay there. We'll stay there.
So the call goes with the tournament committee and Charlie Baker forever considering expanding this thing. Sweeney, who's been the most disappointing team? Who's on your naughty list?
I think it'd be hard not to be Kansas State. Like the way things have gone the last couple weeks, right? Like, look, I wanted to give them a pass early just because it's so many new guys. You're playing a different way with two, maybe three bigs on the floor. The LSU loss, it was what it was. Liberty's a good team. But to get blown out like they did yesterday against an in-state rival in Wichita State, a Wichita State team, by the way, coming off a loss to UMKC, like that's a bad look. Like it's a flat-out bad look for this group. I think it's going to be really hard for them now with just how negative it's gotten around them, feeling the weight of the expectations and the pressure, and now you go into the Big 12, which is obviously so good and so loaded. How do you respond? But look, I mean, they invested a ton of resources in making this roster championship level in the Big 12, and for them to potentially be the worst team in that league, hard not to put them on the naughty list so far.
Jeff Goodman.
I mean, I have multiple teams.
Oh, really?
Really? One was Kansas State.
He's the Grinch.
Yeah, one was
He's the Grinch.
I mean, we probably don't have enough time to go through all of my naughty.
Jim Carrey over here.
That's right.
I'm going to start with my alma mater. Arizona. They've been extremely disappointing. And, again, you look at their best win, guys. Their best win so far is against Davidson on a neutral court. That's probably their best win so far. They're 6-5. They got TCU at home coming up. They could lose that one. They go to 6-6. And, Caleb Love has not been what they thought he'd be, especially this year. And Jaden Bradley hasn't taken the step. And KJ Lewis has been good, but not great. And so that's number one. Number two would be Miami for me. I mean, they've been an absolute disaster this year. And I saw them in Charleston. They lost all 3 games. They've now lost, Sweeney's math was incorrect yesterday. I think it's 8 of their last 9 or something like that. Northwestern mathematics just aren't what they used to be.
No, I mean, Goodman, to be clear, losing 7 of 8 and losing 8 of 9, both were accurate. I just didn't. I was being nice.
You didn't add on. Yes,
I was being nice to Jim. You know, they're having a rough go. Let's soften the blow.
Yeah, and Jim Larrañaga's 75, and he had an incredible run recently. 2-3 years ago, he was Final Four, Elite Eight. Like, it was an unbelievable run. But I hate to say it, but it's time. It is time for Jim Larrañaga probably to step away after this year. It just isn't working right now. 75 years old, man. Go on vacation. Like, go travel the world. Have fun, Jim. Like, you don't need to be dealing with this crap right now and losing 8 of 9. So those would be 2 for me. Arizona, Miami, Kansas State, all 3 of those, the trifecta for me.
We're going to kind of work through these. We have a sort of series of questions here. The next one in the naughty category would be coach you need to see more of or more from. I guess Larrañaga would not be your answer, Jeff, because you want to see less from him. You want him to go away. So what coach do you want to see more from?
What coach do I want to see more from? I'd say Dusty May would be one at Michigan. I don't know which way they're going to go this year. Well, it could go either way. So I'm not ready to bury him like you and send him back to FAU.
He underachieved last year. He underachieved. But
what I will say, the other one, I'll stay in the state of Michigan, is Tom Izzo. Can Tom Izzo make a run again? Can they be nationally relevant? Can they be relevant in the Big Ten for a Big Ten title? I don't know. Again, we talked about the Big Ten earlier, and somebody's going to have to finish like 9th or 10th that we think has a chance to probably fight for one of those top 3 spots. So Michigan and Michigan State are 2 teams, not necessarily 2 coaches, because we know what Tom Izzo has done over the course of his career. But those are 2 teams I want to see more of.
Kevin, is there a team or a coach that you need to see more of and more from?
Yeah, I've been disappointed with Baylor, where I've really not played well in their 3 biggest games of the year. A team that I thought was really talented. I think still is really talented. Obviously, got to get Roach back to full health. He's so important to their team. Not quite to the Arizona level of disappointment, right? They've still been good. That St. John's win, I think, will continue to age really well. But I still believe that this group's ceiling is to be right there with Iowa State and Kansas at the top of the Big 12, and they haven't played like that so far.
Matt, team, coach that you'd like to just see a little bit more from. It doesn't, but just a little more from.
I'm going to go USC, the Must Bus. When you saw that they only scored 36 points against St. Mary's, and coming out of that, they lose to New Mexico, lose to Oregon, they've won 4 straight. Like, who is this team? When he went out there and went out to LA, it's like, look, Musk can coach, and we know that. We've seen what he's been able to do, whether he's at Nevada or at Arkansas. So that team, I just feel like there's a lot of question marks going on out there. And who are they? Are they the team that scored only 36 points against St. Mary's, or are they the team that won 4 games in a row? So Big Ten play is getting ready to get ramped up. So I'm going to say the Must Bus. That's who I want to see more out of.